websites have. And it's something new that can be installed in your Nation Builder site. It's going to help a lot with your digital activism. This is something pretty special. So first I'm going to describe a couple of problems that you probably encounter on your website, and then I'm going to describe the solution. The solution, by the way, is called the Activist Checklist, or ACL. In this case, it's a good ACL. But let me describe the problems first. Problem one, even real online activists will get click fatigue if you waste their clicks on an internal click circus on your own website. Now, sometimes we've just got to have things like endorse pages, polls, suggestion boxes, vote pledges, petitions. All of these things that are resources that you can put up quickly with Nation Builder. And a lot of candidates, a lot of political websites take advantage of this and use them. But what you really want your website visitors doing is you want them clicking those social media links. You want them posting about your website on Facebook, on Twitter, emailing their friends with a link to your website. In other words, spreading the word far and wide about your political effort or your campaign. Getting those links to the website is so valuable, and we found another way to help users focus on this. Problem number two is you want to identify people who are worthy and capable of being admitted to your Nation Builder back office, the dashboard or the control panel, that you won't have to take time to recruit, train, interview, check qualifications of candidates who don't or won't qualify. When I was directing the digital effort for the Draft Carson campaign, we admitted over 400 people to the back office control panel or dashboard, and there was not a single security problem. Now, how do we do it? Well, we help people self-identify and self-train on their own before they approached us to be invited into the dashboard or the control panel. By then, they had demonstrated automatically via instrumentation we had tracked. They had proven and demonstrated their qualifications. We didn't have time to mess around with lots of training in person to onboard a new team member. So we had them do it themselves, and we instrumented their activities so we could know that they were really gaining the qualifications that they needed to be in the dashboard. So how do we do it? How are we certain that all of our candidates were automatically pre-qualified? Well, we did something similar to the activist checklist that I'm offering you today. That was our solution. It can be your solution too now. The ACL directs, encourages, and rewards an activist for telling the outside world about your effort through Facebook, Twitter, emails, blah, blah, blah. It also encourages them to move their activism off the internet and into the streets by attending your events and hosting events for you. This is a host your own event type thing where people can schedule a coffee or maybe just to meet up at the restaurant. With or without the candidate, doesn't matter. If people are gathering at a restaurant and the candidate's not there, they're advancing your cause. They're making your cause publicly known. It's a good thing. Trust me. We did a lot of this on the Draft Carson campaign, and it worked like magic for us. The ACL also automatically pre-qualifies them for being considered for admission to the dashboard by making them aware of issues and priorities important on your campaign to be considered as a senior digital activist, which is what we mean by being ready for admission to your dashboard. It's all automatic and requires almost no manual intervention or tracking by you or your staff. Nation Builder takes care of everything for you automatically. It's instrumented, and it can't be fudged. People can't fake that they're getting these things done. It's actual system instrumentation. The best part is that you're not staffing digital nerds. You're actually staffing good people who have digital skills, who can also move out in the world and attend your events and host events for you. That's what you want. That's one of the keys to victory, is putting the good people you have in the public, letting them show your stuff to the best, even when the candidate's not there. So, at the same time, it also fills your pipeline with qualified people ready to assume duties in your back office, control panel, or dashboard, while it makes sure that you're getting the social media exposure that you really need. So let's take a look. The ACL can be added to your Nation Builder site as a menu in your activist section or as a separate page. Either way will work, although I kind of prefer the menu option so it'll appear on every page. Let's take a look. Now, you may want to click the little icon, the broken square icon down in the lower right, and go to full page so that you can see the small print that we're about to put on the screen. Here we go. Now we've actually got two menus side by side because I want you to see what the unworked menu looks like, and then that's the menu on the right, and then on the left we have the same menu after all these things have been done. So let's take a little bit of a closer look. Now on the on tasks that haven't been done yet, those will appear in color and will match the look of your website, so there's nothing to worry about there. Will match the look of your website, and for every one of these tasks, this is a real menu. For each task that you have here, that's actually a link where they can fix or remedy that situation and take care of that task and get it done for you. Now, let's take a look now at how this promotes social media activity. First of all, the very first thing up here is Facebook posts, because we know conservatives are better on Facebook than they are on Twitter. So this person has completed the left menu, and they're accumulating a lot of points, as we'll see in a minute. They've done 13 Facebook posts right here, and then at the same time they can use this menu to go ahead and share this page now. They've done 20 tweets. We can't count emails to friends, but we can count the results down here on the recruits. But we're reminding them, email your friends, and there's a link where they can go ahead and pop an email to send their friends an email, and that contains a tracking link so that we know who recruited it and we can give them credit for it. And then retweets, we're also counting those. Now, we will count Facebook likes too, but we don't give them as many points, and we don't put them on the menu. We only give Facebook likes 1 because those are a little bit stealthy. We just don't want to give they don't progress the campaign. They don't advance the campaign as much as a Facebook post or a tweet does. So we don't mention them here, although we are counting them. There's a lot of stuff that we're not showing here that we're counting because, look, the person is starting with 54 points up here, and we're telling them too many items to list, breakouts below. So we list the important stuff here. Then this is their social media, social capital from the Nation Builder system. And they can go check the leaderboard or go check their own social capital if they want to. Those are links that they can follow. But all of those activities aren't important here. We're listing the important stuff here. Next down the menu is telling them what page they're on. Because if they're about to click to share this page now, they may want a reminder that they might not want to share the activist checklist. They may want to share the volunteer page or the donate page or a page like that that's, a little more publicly type of thing that you want to be seen, as opposed to something that might not interest the new visitor. Now, the next thing we have on the menu is two of these things. I promised you I would try to help you get people out the door and to your events, and that's what this is for. And you'll see here that when something's been completed, we give them points accordingly. Here, you've never RSVP'd for an event, it's uncompleted. Here they have RSVP'd for events, and we'll have a count here soon, and they receive points for that. This particular volunteer has also hosted an event, and this can't be phonied. This is instrumentation. You can't fudge this. If we're giving them points for hosting an event, they really hosted an event. So again, I don't like. I don't think very many people fudge things, but let's make sure. So you can trust these numbers. Now, if they're preparing to come into your control panel, if they're preparing to become a point person, somebody who's using your control panel, then we kind of need to educate them on some other things. Now, a lot of people come to a political site and they don't even realize that they can log in. So if they're not logged in, we tell them, and if they are, we tell them and award them points. Now, the next two things are really, really important for control panel admission. First, you don't want to you don't want to admit them to the control panel if they're not subscribed to their mass emails. It happened a couple of times on the Draft Carson campaign that we ran filters regularly, and when we found somebody who was in the cart control panel and they had unsubscribed from our emails, we had to do something about that, because you may have to send an urgent email to the entire digital team, and this person right here, they're not going to get the memo because they're unsubscribed from your mass emails. And of course, you don't want to admit somebody to the control panel if they don't have a password set. That would be a glaring security error. So this is a link to help them set their password, and once it's set, they have that done. Now, these other things aren't quite as important, but they will get done eventually. Acknowledging and becoming a volunteer. Now, here's an important one. You watched our video, okay. We'll provide you with a generic digital training video that will talk a little bit about what's expected of people who are coming into the control panel and working the dashboard, answering emails and returning phone calls and stuff like that. And again, this is something that can't be fudged. They really have to watch the video. Once they've watched it and rated it, then we award them points for that. A point person, that's somebody who has already been admitted to the dashboard, so we give them additional points for that because we want them to keep achieving. Then assigned to the core team. Now, you may choose a different name than core team, but I've worked on several campaigns where we just called it the core team. You could call it a tiger team, or you could call it just the staffers. Doesn't matter. We can match whatever you're calling it. And these are the people who you would invite to staff meetings or invite to staff conference calls or video conferences. If they're tagged with the proper tag, then we'll be showing them their participation right here on this line item. Now, of course, a lot of your volunteers are going to make a donation. If they have, we'll invite them to make another donation and thank them for their previous donation. And finally, they get points for the number of people that they've recruited, and it's 6 points for each. So if we look down here, this person has accumulated 140 points. And I would say, boy, we really need to jump over tables and knock people over to invite this person into the control panel. They're going to be very helpful. They're a hard worker. They follow instructions. They recognize that this menu is how we're setting priorities for them, and they participated accordingly. It's a person who can follow directions and wants to do the drill to be a senior activist. If they only had 70 or 80 or 90 points, and you decide we'll set the thresholds wherever you want, then they should be invited. They should probably be invited to become a point person and become more useful to you in the dashboard or the control panel. So that gives you a little bit of a summary of what can go on with an ACL or an activist checklist. It brings a lot more social media participation and prepares people to be admitted to your dashboard. It's a wonderful tool to have on your website, and we can deliver that sometimes for as little as $350 on your to put it into your Nation Builder implementation. We'll match your appearance. We don't need to change your theme or your template or anything like that. We'll match what you've got. Want to also remind you that we have the NB4GOP, that's Nation Builder for GOP training, every Thursday, and you can see that on our website at thegit.io/train. And to learn more about the ACL, go to thegit.io/ACL, and we have some resources there so you can take a closer look. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.